We talk about anxiety in our workshops. And one of the ways to handle it is you have to be so connected to your fear. I always say in my public speaking classes, I declare the space as a no judgment zone. You know, that nobody has the right to judge you, including yourself. At saka, iba't ibang klaseng anxiety. Fear, we define, Angel, as, I'm answering your question actually as to what comes to mind when I speak. Fear is anticipation that something wrong is going to happen. Repeating it is anxiety. So it's even more dangerous to be anxious. At iba-ibang klase ng takot. In the United States, there's a survey that found that there are more people afraid of public speaking than death. Yes. So, iba-iba ang fear. There's what you call, ang tawag na is communication apprehension, CA, communicative apprehension. And iba-ibang sources. Una ay may tinatawag na trait anxiety, may state anxiety. Yung trait anxiety, may mga tao na ipinanganak na mahiyain. So, they're not inclined to speak before an audience. Meron naman trait anxiety. Ang ibig sabihin, ang frame of reference natin pag tayo nagsasalita, you're called to recite in front of the class because you're graded. So, every time you're called in front to speak before people, you know that you're being observed, validated, or graded. There's another one which is called anxiety. Parang, you know that someone is watching you is enough to make you afraid. So, knowing these things, nilalabanan ko, di ba? I mean, knowing, when you're familiar with a space of fear, you somehow get used to it. Di ba? Pag naaamoy mo yung fear ng madalas, you somehow get used to it. So, when I speak, I am free. I am free. Masyadong bukas.
And there's this thing that we call fear of being late. Kasi si Bella, she's really afraid right now because she has to go to Laguna.
I know.
So we have to cut.
I know.
You want
have to go.
Cut short what we're talking about and say goodbye to Bella for now. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Bella Padilla, thank you for gracing us with your presence. Alright, and right now, why don't we do something different? Why don't we open the floor for some questions? I know you guys have lots of questions for the King of Talk right now.
Our celebrity readers may want to ask also. No, the third factor actually of fear, parang may scrutiny factor of fear. Na parang may mga tao na alam lamang nila na pinapanood sila, natatakot na. So, that can really happen. If you have any questions, just let me know.
Okay. Just raise your hand, I'll go to you. Dito po, just to be clear,
Dito.
yung book nyo, it contains 2 of your biggest speeches.
Oo. 2 of the, siguro.
Siguro.
Oo. Hindi ako sigurado kasi, pero ito dalawa sa pinakamalapit sa aking puso. Why Can't We Have a Gay President is a social development discourse. Dearest Nanay was a commencement address I delivered during my graduation. I have another speech that I almost wrote for this book.
Okay.
I keynoted the Asia Professional Speakers Congress in Singapore. I was proud of that speech. Medyo na late lang ng konti.
So why?
Kaya nahirapan ako dun sa dalawang pinaka-importante.
How come, out of all the speeches, bakit ito yung nilagay mo sa libro mo?
Because I'm gay and I am my mother's child.
Okay, that was a statement right there. Coming from Ito Boy. Diba? Alright, you got 2 speeches. Here's Nanay, Close Your Heart.
Right.
And how come we can't have a gay president? Or why can't we have a gay president?
Why can't we have a gay president? Because I wanted to provoke. I wanted to make people think. Why can't we have a gay president?
It is a dulo. You asked, can we have a gay president?
Yes, and common sense and history. Iceland has had a prime minister who's gay, Ilya Rupo. Belgium has had a prime minister, Joanna Sigurd-Datir. So what I'm saying is that portion where I discuss about women used to be extensions of their fathers and their husbands. They couldn't sign contracts. They had no voices. They were invisible. And what I'm saying is, if we have the Theresa Mays, We have Merkel. We have Tsai Ing-wen of Taiwan. Park Geun-hye, of course, she's in prison now. If we have the two of South Korea, the Clintons, even if she didn't win. So, in other words, what I'm saying is, ang layo na ng narating ng mga kababaihan. And I always think, any advancement done by the women's movement is a push for the LGBT movement.
I want to push that question, and I'm sure you guys are itching to ask this as well. Do you have plans of, running?
Barangay captain nga, ayoko tumakbo. I am not, it's not in my belly. I don't have fire in my belly for running for an elective post. Hindi talaga. I'd probably, if Bebot becomes president, I'll take on the DOT. No, I'm not into, I do want to spend hard-earned money to finance my campaign. That's one of the most obvious reasons. Pero I don't think I don't have it in my heart and mind.
Well, like 52
but I
people
know,
here
Robbie,
says, you can.
The president, what I'm saying is both, it's a rhetorical question, but I believe in my heart that a gay president will come about in this country. One of the best mayors of Paris, Noel de la Bertrand, is gay. I'm proud of the guy. Kanina yung Alan Turing na sinabi ni Bella, he's the father of modern computer. Alam niyo, this is urban legend. Yung Apple, yung kinagat.
Okay.
The story there is Alan Turing was convicted of a crime because he fell in love with a boy. He lived with a boy. So he was tried in England and he was found guilty of the crime of homosexuality. There were two punishments. One was either life imprisonment or chemical castration. He chose the latter. One day, before it began, he was found dead, and beside his bed table, his bed, on the bed table was an apple which was partially bitten, which was cyanide laden. Yeah. So, how many more brilliant people? And this is the man who was the lead scientist of Great Britain that decoded the German enigma. I mean, he was brilliant. Martin Luther King, mga kaibigan, in 1963, where he delivered his I Have a Dream speech. Ito I just wanted to mention. Bayard Rustin, who organized the rally, was gay.
We're learning so much things coming from Tito Boy.
Yeah.
Grabe, we will never look at our phones the same way. Parang bigat na naman, but okay, may cyanide pala tong likod na to.
No, but Apple does not admit that openly. But of course, that's an urban legend. A lot of people say that it was inspired by Alan Turing, who's acknowledged the father of modern computer. Pagdating naman dun sa pagdating naman dun sa anti-black slavery movement. Remember, there was a time in our lives when blacks were objects. They were sold, they were bartered, they were borrowed, they were objects. And if we have black presidents today, Martin Luther King in 1963 delivered the speech. 42 years later, in 2008, Barack Obama happened in America. So, my argument is, if women have become presidents, and if black men and women have become leaders of their country, why can't we have a gay president?
Ayun na. And ayan, may questions yata yung mga kapamilya natin dito. And we got my younger brother, Sir Ira Domingo, who could facilitate.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
At this point, we have some of the most passionate, some of the most brilliant members of the press. Our first question will come from Alexa Villano of Rappler. Go, Alexa.
Hi, Tito Boy.
Hi, Alexa.
Okay, Tito Boy, let's go to the speeches because obviously we all know that you love your mom, and then let's go obviously to the speeches everyone's talking about. Why can't we have a gay president? Obviously, it's not naman a secret that there's a lot of things going on. So, what do you think this speech can do to help elevate the discourse further?
I I just want people to talk about it. I just want people to talk about, to entertain possibilities and probabilities this time. I just want people to, I don't want to marginalize myself. I want to go right into the center. I want to talk about gays being president. Dahil napakatagal na panahon na parang nasa gilid lang. I want to go right in the center of the discourse. I want to go right into the discussion of why can't we have a gay president? In the speech, for example, I enumerate the qualifications of a president, especially in this country. All you have to be is 40 years of age, 10-year residence, etc. It doesn't even say there as to whether you should be straight, woman or LGBT. It doesn't even say you have to graduate college. So if you go by the Constitution, Alexa, I want to provoke. I want to make people think. Instead of just entertaining ideas about the stereotypes that, di ba, yung, uy, bakla ka, okay ka naman sa akin, huwag ka lang masyadong malandi. Parang, let's get out of it. Iwanan na natin yon. Ano kung malandi? Di ba? I mean, we don't tell men and women that. Okay lang pag kasing talino ka ng kapitbahay kong bakla. Ba't may mga conditions? When in fact, we can be presidents. Now, of course, the obvious question is, am I entertaining ideas of running for public office? No. That's categorical. No. But I'm looking at the future. I really pray to God that one day a young boy, a young lesbian girl, will just shine and get into the political arena, run for the presidency and win.
Point well taken, Tito Boy. We have a question from Jake Cuenca.
Hey, Jake.
Guys, what's up? How far do you think Harvey Milk could have gone had he not been assassinated? I mean, Harvey Milk was into politics. He did really well in San Francisco, and then what happened. I mean, does he have an influence on you, especially with?
Yeah, very difficult to answer because Harvey passed on at his prime.
Yeah.
Binaril ho si Harvey Milk ng. Well, it's a long story.
Fellow politician.
It's a long story, but iconic. He inspired a lot of people. He was not there yet in the context of national politics in the United States, but he did fight. He did fight, and yes, he inspires. He inspires us in the same way that the trans women, the queers, the LGBT people fought in 1969 at the Stonewall riots in New York. That marks officially the gay rights movement. Ang dami nakipaglaban na kasi katulad halimbawa sa Amerika, when they granted marriage equality in the United States, for example, nakakatuwa dahil meron ng marriage equality, pero nakakalungkot kung babasahin natin yung desisyon ng mga ibang justices. May mga ibang justices doon na nagsabing, if we grant marriage equality in this country, we will be granting cows and chickens and pigs in the future. But I think one of the most important lines was written by Justice Anthony Kennedy, who just passed on a couple of months ago, who said that the reason why he believes that the LGBT people deserve marriage equality is because we honor it. We honor it because we want to be part of this sacrament. I don't think anybody would want to be part of this sacrament if we don't revere it. So, from Harvey Milk to Edie Windsor to all the men and women who came before us and have paved the way, we're grateful, Jake. We're really grateful.
Our next question will come from another social media influencer. We have Kate Adahar of Random Republica.
Hi, Tito Boy. We all know that you're a proud member of the LGBT community. And given all the pressures in society, what would you tell a kid or people who are yet to come out?
Coming out is a personal decision. nobody has the right to out anyone. If a person, for whatever reason, cultural, family, if a person decides to stay in the closet, that is a right that must be respected. I wouldn't want to say, lumabas na kayo kasi mas masaya. Hindi. Ako, my personal opinion is that has to be respected. There are people who are happy in there, so let them be.
Just curious, what was your coming out story? What's your coming out
I
story?
didn't have a coming out story. I've always been out. I don't have a coming out story. But we never talked about it. Nanay and I never talked about it. I mean, mothers and their children understand each other. I don't have a coming out story. I would have wanted a musical.
Eto, Kuya Boy, proud to be out then. Wala iba kundi ang diva na si Alvin Ignacio of Abante.
Hello, boy. If you think the president is gay, do you think he'll be running our country better?
Better is relative. I wouldn't be able. I wouldn't say with certainty that a gay president will be better. He can be the best. He can be better. He may not. There are a lot of factors involved. All I'm trying to say is people should change the optics when they look at gay people. That a gay person who is qualified can be president. As to how he or she is going to perform remains to be seen. Ayokong ipagmayabang na the presidency is, because I think the presidency happens. It happens to one. It's not something that one covets for, di ba? I mean,
It's just like Miss Universe, it's your destiny.
it's a destiny. Ang gusto ko lamang ay mabago yung pananaw na pag bakla ka ay punchline ka, pag bakla ka ay katatawanan ka, pag bakla ka you're supposed to be weak. You know, like women, for example, in the history of humanity, kaya yung mga storms natin ay named after women in the past, or even yung mga ships, Queen Mary, etc. Because women were supposed to be fickle. There are things that must change. There are things that must change. Yun lang yung sinasabi ko na sana the next time people, look at gays, it should be from a different lens. It should be from a different lens, from a different optics.
Ano ba dapat ang change na unang i-address ng gay community for people to really take gay people as serious contenders for politics or the presidency?
It will start from many points, from the personal, from the political perspective, from the cultural perspective. Sabay-sabay yun. Pero I think we have to do, as members of the LGBT community, we have to do what we can. Personal, ang dami ngayon mahuhusay, who are lawyers, who are activists, who are community organizers. Ang dami. I mean, look at the way Barack Obama, for example, planned that career, as a community organizer. But it also has to come from the political perspective, because you can't just run for the president without you wetting yourself in the political arena. So, ang hirap na hirap kami when Ladlad was applying for accreditation in the COMELEC. Dahil sinabi nila ang COMELEC, to quote the COMELEC, we promote promiscuity. This was a COMELEC ruling, which was of course reversed by the Supreme Court. And we are not marginalized because there are people like Boy Abunda and R.S. Francisco, Enrique Reyes, etc., etc. That's from the political landscape. Some things have got to be done there. Cultural, patuloy natin, culture is a way of life. It evolves. May mga pananaw tayo na dapat binabasa. May mga pananaw na dapat baguhin. Kultura. In the 50s and in the 40s, in the 50s, a lot of men, if not a lot of gay men, had to marry because of social pressures. We know that in history. So, mabago lang sana, dahan-dahan lang. It's not easy. It's very difficult as as a community, pero lahat naman pinagdaanan yun. Lahat naman pinagdaanan yun.
Okay, as my final question, since you are a leader in television, kailan sa tingin mo mababago yung TV culture in the representation of gay men and women? Kasi marami pa rin tayong mga TV shows, especially Filipino TV shows that treat gay people as parang katatawanan, as sidekicks na pinaglalaruan. Wala pa sa tingin mo magbabago pa ba yun? Dito
Dahan-dahan lang siguro.
Okay.
Nandito naman kami, hindi naman ako itinutulak para... I've been on television for almost 30 years and I was not required to be funny or to be a punchline. Am I an exception? No. The biggest superstar in Philippine movies now is gay. I mean, Vice Ganda. So, we're making strides. Big strides, as a matter of fact. Pero kailangan may consciousness tayo na if women are versatile, if men are versatile, we are. Kaya in that speech, I say promiscuity is not an exclusive trait of the LGBT community. There are women who are promiscuous. There are men who are promiscuous.